I'm turning 33 in a few days, and one of the biggest things that I've realized is that nobody is watching us as closely as we think they are. And certainly they're not watching us to fail, unless we have a hater. Hey, I'm Ruben, and I am a project manager in my day job and a content creator at night, trying to make this YouTube thing happen for me. And today I want to talk to you about how nobody is really watching us that closely. So why do we keep hiding ourselves? Usually I have some coffee with me, but today I decided to go over to McDonald's, get myself some unsweet tea along with some large fries to talk to you today because it's the weekend and I've been really good at going to the gym, been consistently going to the gym now for a whole week, entire week. I want to make it 21 days so I can build the habit. But anyway, let me take a swig and you can set me down, have your coffee, have your drink and watch and listen so we can have a chat. But yeah, nobody is watching us that closely. And I say that as someone who grew up very shy, very timid, always trying to hide myself. And somehow I still ended up pursuing TV news. Somehow I put myself on camera for the local community, but still, that's like a few thousand people watching me. And now, hopefully, several thousand people, millions of people watching this, or just you. But it is a little cringe what we're trying to do. If you have dreams of being on YouTube, if you have dreams of being on social media and making some income out of that, it's a little cringe. And we just kind of have to accept that. But we don't have to hide ourselves and really be worried about what people are going to think about us. Because, I mean, if we're shy, we are putting ourselves out there. We're stepping out of our comfort zone. So that person who might be judging, like, what are they really doing with their lives? What are their goals? And are they really trying to pursue them? So I think we massively overestimate how much people are thinking about us, especially for those creators for social media, or if you've been stopping yourself from posting, think about it. People are scrolling, maybe while they're on the toilet, maybe while they're lying in bed, they're scrolling and scrolling. And yes, you want to make them stop, but you want to be authentic. And kind of a side note, I deleted TikTok on Sunday of this week. It's now Friday, and I've been off of it. And I feel already that I have a little bit more confidence back. And I say that because I thought of TikTok as a place that I can really be myself and just like, be silly and not really talk about all this YouTube thing and like me, my insecurities and all of that, and just have more fun with it. But somehow I ended up overthinking. Somehow I ended up just questioning myself. And I think it's because of the low views that some of the TikToks that I posted, or just comparing myself to all these other people that seem to have it figured out. They have their niche, they have their way of talking and their audience, and people are being pushed out. So I'm giving myself like a full week of no TikTok. I have a couple more days to go, but really it's made a big difference. And it's reminded me of YouTube. YouTube is what I want to do. So, what is one thing that you could delete, maybe just for a few days, out of your life that makes you stop overthinking this? Because again, why are we hiding ourselves? Why are we doing that to ourselves? Why are we overthinking so much? Think about when you go and watch karaoke. I don't know if you like to do that, but I was thinking about an example to give you about how we think people are going to care about what we do so much, and then you do it and then you don't really think about it again, or like you get over yourself. So I like going and watching karaoke. I don't karaoke all the time. I don't sing all the time, but I'm challenging myself to the next time that I go to just do it and to not drink so much to before I do it, because I think that I'm trying to be perfect. I know that I'm not the best singer. I know that I am not hitting notes here, left and right, like I want to be, or like I think that sometimes I am. I know that that is not the case, but the whole point is having fun. Yes, there's amazing karaoke singers that are doing the thing, and like, someone needs to give them a contract or whatever, but I think they're also doing it for fun. So think about when you go, think about the anxiety you might feel, like, I don't want to sing, I don't want to embarrass myself. But then you go and you hear someone goes up and they're not that good. Actually, they're awful. But the crowd is into it, they're cheering, and at the end, they walk off stage or they hand the mic back and they go on about their business, they go on about, having a drink. And maybe for a couple minutes you were judging them, but after a little while, you went back to your friends, you went back to whatever you were doing, whatever else you were thinking about, or thinking about the next performer. It's not like you carried on the night or days later thinking about how awful that karaoke singer guy was. Like, oh my God, did you hear Ruben and how bad he sang Hero by Mariah? Like, he couldn't even hit like an E4. Like, what was he thinking doing? Like, there's no way. I just don't think that you're doing that. So that's the example that I had. Can you think of another example of doing something cringe that it's kind of like the end of our lives in that moment, but it really isn't? People are kind of the same online. They think about us, they might judge us for a minute as they're watching. They might judge us just for those few seconds where they're like, not for me. You're not going to be for everybody. So that is something that I have to internalize, that I am not for everybody. In my personal life, I think I try to be relatable and I try to relate to people, but some days I am social and some days I'm very reserved. I'm not really interested. I get drained by interacting with people so much. And I used to think that I wanted to be someone who's like a social butterfly, always ready to go. But that's just not my nature. And it's okay. And that's another thing I realized getting older, or getting more experience is what I like to say. Because I'm a Mariah fan and she says, we don't have birthdays, we have anniversaries, darling. So that's kind of the energy that I sometimes go for, because, you know, getting older, yes, we're getting more wisdom, but it doesn't have to mean that we are becoming more serious, that we are this serious person who has to take everything so seriously and we can't have fun. Oh my God, there's so much stuff happening in the world. It's actually okay to feel joy. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent there. I say all that to say that most people, they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about a problem that they're facing. They want to make more money. They're stuck at their job, kind of how we feel. They're not going for our dreams, kind of how we might feel. They're overthinking what kind of content that they want to do. They're overthinking the next step in their lives that they want to take, or that they know that they should take, but they're being overly cautious. They're consumed with all of that. They don't have time to really think about us that much. Now we hope to grow an audience. We hope to have people invested and wanting to check in on us and be waiting for our next video, be commenting below and what we're doing, and hopefully have some positive comments and not negative. But even with the negative, we can probably grow from that. So people, they're not watching us fail. You might have that one person who just is a hater. They probably have something going on in their lives that is making them spend their time that way, leaving a nasty comment or a negative comment, or just like, just being a little too much. But that's okay. That's part of it. So if putting ourselves out there could genuinely change our lives, why are we not taking action? It's probably worth surviving a few times of being cringe if we can change our lives, you know? So I hope you feel understood. I hope you feel that somebody out there, meaning me, is feeling the same thing about content creation, especially about being stuck, about wanting to take action and somehow overthinking it all. That's kind of me in a nutshell. And I know that is a bunch of people out there that are also feeling that way. And so this is the community that I want to build. This is what we are both, all of us are going to work towards. So I appreciate you spending some time with me. We're going to check in next week again. I'm going to post weekly. I did want to tell you about a win that I had this week, and that's me, and all doing all of this, registering for a course. It's the 30 days talking to camera challenge. His name is Thomas. He's a YouTube creator. Alexander the Create is his YouTube handle. And I'm really liking it so far. It's day 3. I gotta finish my module, record myself on camera. But even though I'm thinking like, oh, I should do all of that first so I can get even more comfortable talking to you on camera, I'm like, no, I gotta get my weekly video in. So thank you so much for watching. We're gonna check in next week. Leave me a comment if you resonated with this and subscribe.